Section 7 will discuss the techniques that will help you reduce the effect of chronic stress on health. And as I said earlier, chronic stress is something that can go on for days, weeks, months, or even years. It differs from acute stress, which is unanticipated, comes on suddenly, short term. Here's a technique that is a powerful technique to help you cope with chronic stress. This is especially useful when we're talking about the difference between stress and anxiety. And I want to clarify that for you. Stress is real. Some stress is happening. It's something that you're aware of, something that you have to deal with. It may be problems with children, marital difficulties, problems with parents, problems at work, financial problems, trouble in school. There can be many things that cause stress. Anxiety is thinking about something that caused you stress, but it's over, it happened, it's done. And when you keep thinking about something that caused you stress, what you're doing is activating the stress reactive brain areas, and you will be susceptible to all of the mental and physical health effects caused by stress. So it's very important to be able to let go, to not keep thinking about the things that are over. You know, you did something wrong, and you keep thinking, why did I do that? I made such a fool of myself. It's terrible. And you just can't let go. It's interesting that centenarians, people who live to be 100 years of age, they're generally pretty healthy people, because if they weren't healthy, they wouldn't have lived to be 100. One of the things that centenarians will frequently tell you is that I don't grieve. When something is over, it's over. I don't keep thinking about it. I don't grieve. So the question is, how can you let go of things that you keep thinking about that are over? Well, this is a technique that I'm going to describe to you that is extremely helpful for this. And what you do is you take a sheet of paper, or couple sheets of paper, and something to write with. And you find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed for 15 minutes, because you've got to do this for 15 minutes. And then what you do is you pick any issue of concern to write about. Okay, so you decide, you know, this thing's been bothering me, or I'm dealing with something, and I want to try to decrease the response of my brain to it. So you get some paper, something to write, and then what you do is you write continuously for 15 minutes, and it must be 15 minutes. If you run out of things to say, just repeat what you have already written. You don't worry about grammar, you don't worry about spelling, you don't worry about sentence structure, you just write for 15 minutes. While you are writing, do not read what you have already written. Just keep writing. Don't be concerned if you start crying while you're doing this. Don't be concerned if you break down and sob. It may happen, it's not uncommon, and there is nothing wrong with it. So you want to write for 15 minutes about something that's bothering you. Could be from 20 years ago. It could be from yesterday. What is important is that your writing, what you write, will be completely confidential, because when you finish writing, you tear up what you have written, you tear up the paper, and you toss it out so that nobody will ever see what you wrote. And we recommend tearing it up into small pieces and flushing it down the toilet, so you know nobody will ever see what you wrote. Knowing this allows you to write about the things that are most personal, most confidential, most intimate, the things you can't share with anybody. What you will experience, the things that you write about, you'll have the feeling as if they're floating to the back of your head. They're not going to go away. They'll still be there, but they will be less troublesome. They will be less recurrent. They will be less of an issue. The more you do this technique, the more effective it's going to be. Don't be afraid to do it. Remember, nobody will ever see what you wrote because you're going to tear it up, small pieces, flush it down the toilet. This is a powerful technique. Another technique to help you with chronic stress is being able to find a way to get away from everything. Not physically, but mentally. And this is a technique that we use, that's very commonly used actually, called guided imagery. What is guided imagery? It's a script. Someone writes, someone reads it, and you listen to it. And what it does, it directs you to create a fantastic place that you are most comfortable in. You create your own beautiful place with comfortable thoughts and pictures in your mind and the right temperature and smell and just everything that's ideal. A place you can relax in. It's somewhat similar to going on a wonderful vacation without actually going anywhere. So, how does this help to calm the mind? Well, by creating this place which you want to be in, where everything is perfect for you, it helps to calm the stress-reactive brain areas. And it's interesting, the more you listen to guided imagery, your brain gets used to it, gets conditioned to it, and so eventually all you have to do is think of this wonderful place, and your brain will calm down. So when you're dealing with chronic stress, it often is bothering us. We don't think clearly. You start getting the blues, the things we've talked about, the effect on the mind. Well, using guided imagery to calm yourself is very effective. It's likely that when you use guided imagery and listen frequently, when you get up in the morning, your stress hormones are going to be lower than they would have been if you weren't using a technique such as this and the expressive writing to calm your brain. And the brain can change. It may become more difficult for mild stressors to activate the stress reactive brain areas, and now it's going to require stronger stressors to activate them. The point is, the more you do the various stress coping techniques, your brain will become less resistant to being activated by stress. And that's what you want to achieve. You want to achieve so that you are calm most of the time. Little things that used to annoy you don't anymore. How do you do guided imagery? What you do is you listen to a guided imagery. So we have placed some of our guided imageries on the web. And if you go to healthylifestyle.podbean.com, you can download them, you can put them on your phone, you can listen to them whenever you want. The one guided imagery that I like the most is the one labeled Mental Journey. And what I have done is to put it on the next slide. And so when you go to that, it will play for you and you can listen to it. It takes about 11 minutes, but it's worth listening to.
Allow yourself to get comfortable in a seated or lying down position. If you are seated, uncross your legs and place your feet firmly on the floor. Let yourself be as relaxed and physically at ease as possible. Remove your glasses if you wish. See that your arms and legs are in a position that feels right for you. If you wish, slowly and gently close your eyes. Imagine that each muscle in your body is releasing tension, is relaxing, and softening into the chair or floor. Imagine that your mind is relaxing also, releasing any worries, negative thoughts, or emotions. And allow yourself this time to quiet the mind and body and be in the present moment. Now move your awareness to your breath. Without judging it, notice its rhythm. How fast or slow, how deep or shallow. The length of the in-breath, the pause, and then the length of the out-breath. Just notice its rhythm. There's no right or wrong way to breathe right now, so just be aware of how you are breathing. If any physical discomfort, negative thoughts, or emotions arise, note it, and with your next exhalation, let it go. Simply note it and let it go. Let the mind and body relax. There is simply you, your breath, and my voice, preparing you to go on a mental journey. All you have to do is listen. And if the suggestions don't work for you, let them go. And enjoy the stillness of your mind and body. Imagine yourself in a very special place. It may be a real place, a place you may actually have been or seen pictures of. Or it may be a made-up place, a place in your dreams, or a place in fairy tales. It's up to you. Simply imagine yourself in a very special place, a place where you feel secure and at ease. It may be a vacation place, or a place in your own home or garden. The choice of your special place is entirely up to you. The important thing is that you feel secure and at ease in this place. If more than one place comes to mind, stay with one of them. The only thing that matters is that you feel secure and at ease in this place. You feel secure and at ease. Allow yourself some time to be in this special place. Experience it with all of your senses. Notice what you see in this place, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch. Notice what you are wearing, how old you are, whether you are alone or with another person or people. Notice what time of year it is, what time of day. Notice the temperature, whether it is warm or cold. Notice the sounds that surround you, the colors, the aromas, the touch. Continue now to experience the special place with all of your senses, allowing yourself to bring in anyone or anything that would make this place even more secure and calming for you. Anyone or anything that would make this place complete. Allow yourself another minute to be in this special place, taking it in with all of your senses, letting it fill you and permeate you with an overall sense of security and well-being. Now thank yourself for taking the time, this time to be with yourself, to quiet your mind, to quiet your body, and visit a place in which you feel secure and at ease. Know that you can return to this place or any other special place when you need to, without my directions, to replenish your mind, your body, your spirit with renewed clarity and calm. Now return your awareness to your breath. Again, notice the rhythm of your breath. Without judging it, notice how fast or slow you are breathing. The length of your in-breath, the pause, and the length of the out-breath. Return your awareness to the feel of your back against the chair or floor, the feel of your feet against the floor. Become aware of your fingers, of your toes. Now when you are ready, and only when you are ready, slowly open your eyes with a smile on your face.
I want to talk about meditation. Meditation is not a single thing. There are many different styles of meditation, and whoever does that particular style, will tell you that's the best way to do it. But what is it? It simply is a technique to take your attention and focus it on something that has no emotional value to you. In other words, to get you to stop thinking about the things that are bothering you. And if you don't think about the things that are bothering you, it will contribute to a lowering of the concentration of stress hormones in your blood. So it trains you to have your mind become less responsive to stress with all of the benefits that we've already talked about. So how do you not think about things that are bothering you? Well, look, we've talked about a lot of things. Just going for a walk, doing deep breathing, spending time with friends. It's all part of ways to calm your brain. Religion, prayer, they all are beneficial. So let's do a very simple meditation. All right, let's just do this now. So what I'd like you to do is just to sit back, make yourself comfortable, and close your eyes. And now I'd like you to pay attention to your breath as you're breathing in and out. And each time you exhale, I'd like you to say the word calm, C-A-L-M, to yourself. And as you are doing this, thoughts will come into your mind, and try to set those thoughts aside by focusing on your breathing and the word calm as you exhale. And let's do that for a minute. And when you're ready, put a smile on your face and open your eyes. And how do you feel? Look, that was a very simple meditation. You can do it anytime, and the more times you do it, the easier it will become, and the more effective it will become. And what's the goal? The goal is to get your brain to be calmer than it normally is, to get those stress-reactive brain areas less active, to get the concentration of stress hormones in your blood to be lower. So whenever you have a chance, do some simple meditation, just like we just did. Do it when you're calm. Do it when you're happy. Practice it. And then if you're upset about something, and if you remember, do it then. But the only way you're going to remember to do it when you're upset is by practicing doing it when you are calm. The goal of meditation is to find a way for you to not pay attention to the thoughts you find disturbing, because such thoughts will activate the stress-reactive areas of the brain. Will you learn to do this quickly? Probably not. Look, nothing happens quickly, and I've already told you use the example of learning to play the piano. If you don't practice it, you're not going to be able to do it well. You've got to practice all the behaviors, the techniques, the things which we are talking about. Why do you want to practice them? Because you want to stay healthy as you continue to go through the aging process, and you want to make sure that you are a good role model for the children, the grandchildren, the family members, the friends, the people you care about, and the people that care about you. Mindfulness is something which is increasingly popular, which you are hearing more and more about. And what mindfulness is, essentially, it's just learning to pay attention to what you are doing at the present time to keep your mind from wandering. So it's focusing. And we've talked about focusing and thinking clearly and the importance of keeping the concentration of the stress hormones down. So mindfulness can be defined as paying attention to where you are and what you are doing and not having many thoughts running through your head. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to focus. And the reality is that everything we have talked about and that you've learned increases your ability to focus. It helps you increase your ability to cope with stress, which lowers the concentration of stress hormones. And if your mind is not wandering, you will get things done more quickly. You create time for yourself. You waste less time. And I've already talked about what do you do with this extra time you have. You can use it for relaxation. You can go for a walk. You can read a book. You can volunteer for something. You come up with things that you want to do that you find pleasurable. The reality, however, is that when people create more time for themselves, they fill it with work-type things. They fill it with things related to careers. But it's important to be able to not do that. It's important to find time for relaxing, because if you do that, you're going to enhance the quality of your health as you go through the aging process and increase the likelihood of staying healthy and functional as you continue to get older. And that's really what you want to do. That's the blessing. The longer you stay healthy as you continue to age, the shorter your demise, because you're compressing the time that you can have disease and illness into a shorter time period. And so you stay healthier, get older, and essentially, and the reality is, the likelihood of dying, having a demise in a short time period increases. Think about it. It's not uncomfortable. It's what you want to achieve. To help get things done quickly or in a shorter time period, it's important to prioritize what you need to do or think about what you should be thinking about. Maybe you would benefit by doing the most complicated things first to get them out of the way and get them done when you're most fresh. That may help you relax as the other things you have to do are easier. Maybe you would benefit by doing the easiest things first, so you have a feeling of accomplishment. Getting the easier things out of the way lets you focus on the most difficult, with fewer other things to think about. Some people have better mental function earlier in the day, midday, or later in the day. You know when you are most functional. Try to do the most difficult tasks when your function is best. Don't waste time when you are tired, overwhelmed, and can't focus. Set the things you are having difficulty with aside and come back to them later. If you're bogged down and not making progress, set it aside. Don't waste time when you're tired or overwhelmed. And most importantly, don't be afraid to relax. If you do something to decrease the concentration of your stress hormones, you will find it easier to focus. So for chronic stress, we've talked about a number of things that you can do, a number of approaches, a number of ways in which You can get the stress hormones down. We've talked about that for acute stress. And what is the goal? To keep you mentally and physically healthy as you go through the aging process and to be a meaningful role model for others. So that concludes section 7. We've learned about stress, how it alters health. We've learned about the effects of stress on the mind and the effects of stress on the body. We've learned the behaviors that will reduce the response of the brain to stress, and we've learned about techniques that are useful to reduce the effect of acute stress on health and chronic stress on health. And now we'll go on to the last section, which are guidelines that I am providing to you for a long and healthy life. And these guidelines will review a lot of what we have talked about, but will also introduce some new things for you to become aware of.